this is Dawn Marie. Today I want to share with you 5 signs of covert narcissism. As we go through these signs, you might notice that some of them can appear in any marriage. But when we're talking about narcissism, we're talking about chronic patterns of behavior, not one-off incidences. So here are your 5 signs. 1 is that covert narcissists tend to blame and shame, but they're not going to do it blatantly like an overt narcissist. They're going to use an underhanded tactic like victimhood. So this might look like a covert narcissist husband coming home day after day, week after week, and saying to his wife, you know, my boss is giving promotions based on favors and based on people who take him to lunch and people he likes, and he's not giving promotion based on merit, hard work, experience. So it's a dead-end job for me. So they may be talking about this week after week, and then an opportunity opens in another city. So they decide, let's pursue this opportunity. When they get there, the covert narcissist may pull a move like this. I left the best job I ever had because of you. Now the spouse is floored and she says, I thought that you wanted to leave that job. And he says, no, you said you didn't like my boss, you didn't like the city we were in, you didn't like the people I worked with. And then she says, no, I didn't like what your boss was doing to you, and there were things I didn't like about the city we were in, and I was willing to make a fresh start of it. And the covert narcissist says, so you mean I left the best job I ever had for nothing? That you weren't saying you wanted us to move? And in the conversation, he will continually put it on to his spouse, even though he had initiated the conversation. And there's some gaslighting going on here, which the covert narcissist is a master of, so that it puts doubt in her about how the conversation went and what she said and the impression her words gave him. And he's doing all of this from start to finish to maintain the leverage. He wants to keep her off balance, and he wants to keep the control, because that is what narcissists want. They want the leverage and the control. A second sign of covert narcissism is that covert narcissists sabotage. Now, narcissists have a rage and a resentment inside, and whoever they're married to, they're going to resent. But the covert narcissist is going to have it under the radar. And sabotage is the tactic they use to express that rage. And this is how it might look. A covert narcissist starts to have children, and one of the best ways to get at his spouse, who he resents, is through the children. So he begins to groom the children from early with things like, when your mom hugs and kisses you, she doesn't really mean it. She doesn't want you to have fun. She doesn't want you to enjoy your life, but I do. And so we're going to have a good time together, and I'm going to look out for you. And so he begins to teach the children that they cannot trust their mother. The mother doesn't know that this is a narrative that they're being fed. She just knows that something is not right in her bond with her children. And she would not in a million years think it is because of something that her spouse is sowing. And he watches her turmoil, and he watches her sorrow over something is wrong in my relationship with the children, and I must be the problem, because mothers typically bond with their children better than this. Something must be wrong with me. And the covert narcissist secretly delights in the turmoil he's causing through this breach, and he doesn't care the collateral damage. And because narcissists want to be worshipped and adored, anyone else that might be in the lives of his children, who his children could love, become rivals in the mind of the covert narcissist. So the covert narcissist will not only create this kind of sabotage with a parent, but with a grandparent, with friends, with teachers. The covert narcissist will say things like, when you go over to your grandparents' house, you have to be careful because, and I know you like your teacher, but what I know is about her is, and you like to go next door and play in the yard with little Timmy, but Timmy's family, whatever. And what he's doing is grooming his children to look to him as the only one that they can truly have a relationship with, where their guard is down. A third sign of covert narcissism is that covert narcissists like to isolate and alienate, which is evident in the example that I just gave about the children being alienated from people that they love. But another way that they will do it, and in this stealth kind of way is that rather than picking their family up and moving them geographically to get them away from people, the covert narcissist might alienate like this. Let's say he and his wife work together running an organization. So he pitches an idea to the team and the team is like, that's a great idea, let's go for it. Well, at some point in a conversation with his wife might say, I'm concerned about the budget for that project. I don't think we can do it that big, do the project that big. We don't have the budget for it. He might say something like this: you're the only one who doesn't believe in me. Whenever I have these ideas, you clip my wings. And you saw how excited the team was, and you're clipping their wings. Whenever you come around, they also lose momentum. And so the things that I really could be doing, I'm not achieving because you don't believe in me. While that spouse begins to feel like I'm the problem because everyone else has the vision for it, I'm the only one not seeing it. So I must be the problem. And so what happens is that spouse bit by bit becomes marginalized and marginalizes herself from the team because she doesn't want to infringe on the momentum that the team can be having. And the covert narcissist is a master at creating these kinds of distances between people that keeps them somewhat isolated from each other, especially so that they can't compare notes and put the finger on, wait, he said that to you, well, he said this to me. But also because of the resentment and rage that narcissists have toward their spouse. It doesn't matter who the spouse is. It's an inner working of the narcissist that they're going to resent their spouse. This is one of the ways that they also are able to lash out covertly by isolating the spouse and throwing these wrenches in the spouse being able to have meaningful connections and relationships with people. A fourth sign of a covert narcissist has to do with that same throwing of the wrench. They cause confusion, but they do it in an underhanded way, throwing wrenches into situations and creating drama. But they create this drama so that they can arise as a hero, because then they come in and they solve it, they negotiate, and they bring people, to the table, and they talk things through, and they identify the villain, and they get the villain eliminated. But the pattern that you will notice is that there's always a villain. There's this confusion, and then there's always some person who's causing this confusion. And no matter how many villains the covert narcissist gets rid of, there's still confusion, because the covert narcissist creates confusion. He is the common denominator. A fifth sign that you're dealing with a covert narcissist is that covert narcissists seek recognition. They want to be adored. They want to be the center of attention. And so what they do is they set up dynamics where people will toot their horn, because remember, they're covert. So they don't stand up on the soapbox like the overt narcissist and tell everyone how amazing they are, but they create dynamics all the time that people can look on and go, wow, he's amazing. Wow, he's not like anyone we've ever met before. They'll also do this with how they give. They'll give, for example, to a family. They'll give, let's say, rent money to a family or a car to a family. But then they'll create a platform of some type for that family to be able to have visibility, so that that family then says, oh, and this is how he changed my life, or this is what he did for us. The covert narcissist does not give to enrich people's lives. He gives so that people will give him accolades and build up that sense of self-importance that he carries in such a tremendous type of way. So those are 5 signs of a covert narcissist, and I hope that helps you. God bless you. Bye-bye.